Lindsey Tropf, founder and CEO of Immersed Games. At Immersed Games, we've created a next-generation STEM learning platform that's a video game. So students can go in and solve all sorts of problems while they learn science. They do things like collect evidence to argue something's an invasive species, or build their own ecosystem from scratch, or breed dragons, learn about genetics. So we're all about empowering this hands-on science learning through a video game that's super engaging for students. I'm really passionate about science education, and especially not just the content. Having students actually develop science skills where they can solve their own problems, they can analyze data and think for themselves about it. And that's a really critical 21st century skill in general. So I came from an education background and really got passionate about the power of what games could do to help develop these science skills for students. So when we first got started, I was working on a Ph.D. in education at the University of Florida, and I kind of accidentally came up with a great mental model of how we could really use games to empower a lot of ideal learning. And so I began recruiting some co-founders to come in with it, and found some great people who help with programming and art and a lot of the different really important aspects of developing out the company. And so we first started with a Kickstarter and a very early prototype, released a first small product, got some initial validation of money, and kept growing from there, including with some small business innovation research grants with the National Science Foundation and the Department of Education. One thing that drives me a little crazy is that everyone gets really excited about games only as engagement. And so what I mean by that is, like, games are obviously very engaging for students, but people think that the only reason to use a video game is because students like video games, when really we can use a game to go very, very deep on the learning. It's about problem solving and understanding systems and models, which are really critical skills. And so for me, engagement is an obvious that we have, but what I get really excited about is the really deep learning potential that we have and can empower with the game. And it's sometimes hard to get that across for people and help them understand that aspect of it too. Right now, we're really focused on going to market and building up what the sales cycle looks like for schools. And the education sales cycle, as people can guess, is not exactly the easiest things. There's a lot of stakeholders involved. Even if I have a superintendent bought in, I have to go, kind of down the pipeline, down to teachers, and make sure everybody's bought in and back up for the budget. And so it's a complex, long sales cycle, and it's something that you have to plan for as a company to make sure you have enough runway and your burn rate's low enough that I can take my time and make sure that we hit all of those needs for every one of the stakeholders in the system. In general, some of the best business advice is really around that lean methodology and making sure you get out of the building and talk to people. And, I came across this as a content expert myself already with my background in education, but that doesn't mean that I know what's actually going to work in the market or for a variety of teachers with different perspectives. And so talking to customers constantly is just definitely the most valuable thing you can do. Next for us, we are really focused on going to market and getting some revenues built up. We have some great pilots and efficacy results from this last school year, and so now it's scaling up, actually selling and building out all of those systems and cycles for us so that we can start doing that at scale. Tampa Bay Wave is incredible. A lot of it is for the connections. They provide great support, and the riches over there give really valuable feedback and are amazing resources as you grow your business. And Wave knows everybody, and so being able to get feedback from a variety of people from different backgrounds whenever we need a device has been awesome with the Wave.